that people are taken at a very young age, probably 6 years old or younger, and put in an institutional setting where they're socialized, where they're brought into a factory-based work system, and they're taught that education's good and the old system's good and they should follow along and learn and work in that mode, and that is no longer a valid strategy in this new economic time. How do we approach these people? How do we show them that there are alternatives? Is that the essence of your question?
So, yes.
Yeah. And it's a great question. Because as human beings, our tendency is to continue along the same path. That's the path of least resistance. Tomorrow will look probably like today. And that's true for the most part. Tomorrow will look a lot like today. However, anybody remember this big storm called Katrina? You've probably heard about it. Anybody remember the crash of 2008? Anybody remember earthquakes? Everything was the same until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And there's this concept called black swans. Now, I got to give you a little background because that's sort of an economic term. People knew, they absolutely knew, Europeans absolutely knew that swans came in white and white until they got to Western Australia and discovered black swans. And when they discovered black swans, it sort of upset their world because everybody knew there were black swans. Everybody knows the best way for the average person to get along is go to school, get a job, work for a company for a long time, and they'll retire you. However, here's the point. Everything is the same until it isn't. Everything's the same until it isn't. And you can look in your life, and everything's the same till somebody dies, or you get fired, or you get sick, or you get a car crash. Something happens. These black swans. Now, it's not always that sudden or that shocking. Oftentimes it's creeping. You ever hear the analogy of you want to boil a frog? No, this is really gross. Of course, nobody wants to boil a frog. But you put them in a pot of cold water, and then you heat the water gradually, and they don't notice it till, bingo, they're toast. They're boiled. Because it's so gradual that they don't notice it. And it's like that with us. Now, I talked earlier about how there's a war on cash. They're not going to just put out an announcement one day, hey, money's illegal, turn in all your cash. They're not going to do that. They're going to start with outlawing the high denomination bills. And then they're going to work their way down. And there's going to be a tax on cash. You want to put your money in the bank? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, great, you got $100 there? Great. We'll give you a credit of $99 when you go to deposit it. So, look, this change is the only constant. You've heard that. Change is the only constant. So if you think you've got secure employment, or you've got a retirement, or you've got investment money, stocks and bonds, good luck. Those are instruments for an old industrial economy. Employment is an industrial revolution, industrial economy concept. Retirement is an industrial revolution, industrial economy concept. Stocks and bonds are industrial revolution technology for financial instrument. Banks. All this stuff is the old economy. How do we get people to understand and take a look? Well, the best thing I can think is you be a shining example of being truly wealthy, having great health, having a great attitude toward life, having rich relationships, having a lot of time to enjoy it, and having the money that you need. Now, if you're in the process of developing that, the second best thing is telling people that's what you're committed to. This is what I'm up to. Look, this may or may not be for you. That's okay by me. But I want to tell you what I'm doing. Because I've got enough information to know that things won't be in the future like they were. And this is what I'm doing. And I'd love for you to take a look. And then if you're not as informed or eloquent or connected to have all the things to tell them, have them talk to somebody else that you're working with. Have them talk to one of your partners and allow them to present some information, or give them a tool, give them a recording of this, or give them a website or a brochure, some way they can access a portal, an access point to a better life for them. Because see, not everybody comes into network marketing for the same reasons. Some people come in for the money, pure and simple. Some come in for the products and services. Some come in for the community, because they like being around other high-powered entrepreneurial people. Some come in for the world-class education they get for free. Some come in for retirement and security. Some come in to make a difference. People come in for a lot of different kinds of reasons, but they need an access point, all right? And it's our job to do the oldest thing that humans do, which is share good things with other people. So if you truly believe in your path and your business and your structure that you're putting in place, share it with others. And if you don't, don't. See, that's the thing. It's about authenticity. My relationships aren't worth enough for me to share something I don't believe in with them to make a couple of dollars. I'm not going to do it. Nobody else would in their right mind. They're not going to do it. But if I do take a product and I like that product, I'm going to share it anyway. Whether I can monetize it or not, I'm going to share it. So in this new economy, it's about sharing goods and services that we like. This is what the big companies like Google and Facebook do. They give away information about valuable stuff for free, and they're able to monetize it. That's how they've created wealth. This is how wealth's created in the new economy. And we can do it too. That's the difference. In the old economy, you had to have a lot of capital to get it going. That's why that old system you're talking about doesn't work for most of us. We're either debt slaves or wage slaves or both. If you do manage to get enough money to put a factory or a business together, I would say in not all cases, but a lot of cases, people I know they're slaves to that business. They own their own job. They may have the money, but they don't have the time. Or after a while, they're burned out and they're just lost interest in it, but they're doing it for the money or for the security. So here's a chance for us to offer people something that, quite frankly, is an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. Look, in all the economic transitions that I've looked at, there have been winners and losers, a lot of losers. A lot of people who just, they'd rather not change because change is too uncomfortable.